China's de facto number 2 in power, the Chinese Communist Party's Politburo Standing Committee member and director of the General Office of the CCP Central Committee, Cai Qi, has recently been absent from a series of major events. On the 18th, the CCP held the Central Conference on Comprehensively Governing the Country According to Law, in Beijing. As a vice director of the Central Commission for Comprehensively Governing the Country According to Law, Cai Qi should have attended, yet he was nowhere to be seen. Since accompanying Xi Jinping on a visit to Meizhou, Guangdong on November 8, Cai has disappeared for a full 12 days. This abnormal absence quickly drew widespread attention. It's important to know that since Cai Qi took over as director of the General Office of the CCP Central Committee in 2023, he has never vanished from public view for this long. This time, his midway disconnection breaks the long-standing convention that the director of the General Office is almost inseparable from the top leader, and has triggered intense speculation that something unusual is happening within the CCP's top power structure. What exactly has happened? Is it a health issue? Or has there been a shift in the political winds? What kind of signal does Cai Qi's disappearance send about internal dynamics within Xi Jinping's regime? Today, we're going to peel back the layers and examine Cai Qi's rise to power, how he went from being a seemingly open-minded Weibo Big V to becoming Xi Jinping's sharpest knife handle. Cai Qi's record-breaking 12-day disappearance. On November 18, CCP state media reported that the Central Conference on Comprehensively Governing the Country According to Law was held in Beijing. One detail, however, immediately caught the eye of the overseas Chinese media sphere. Cai Qi, member of the Politburo Standing Committee, Executive Secretary of the Central Secretariat, Director of the General Office of the CCP Central Committee, and Vice Director of the Central Commission for Comprehensively Governing the Country According to Law, was conspicuously absent. A glance at past records reveals that since the Commission was established in 2018, meetings of this sort have always been standard occasions for collective appearances by the CCP top leadership to showcase the banner of Governing the Country According to Law. On August 24, 2018, at the first meeting of the Commission on Comprehensively Governing the Country According to Law, Xi Jinping attended in person as director, while 3 Politburo Standing Committee members, Li Keqiang, Li Zhanshu, and Wang Huning, appeared alongside him as vice directors. On February 25, 2019, the second meeting followed the same protocol, 4 standing committee members attended together. On February 5, 2020, the third meeting was held at the height of the pandemic. Xi Jinping still personally chaired it, though state media did not publish a list of other attendees. From November 16 to 17, 2020, the first Work Conference on Comprehensively Governing the Country According to Law was held. At least 5 of the 7 standing committee members were present. Xi Jinping delivered an important speech, Wang Huning gave the concluding remarks, and Li Keqiang presided over the meeting. From this pattern, it is clear that as a vice director of the Commission, Cai Qi belongs to the core tier of those required to attend. His position is on par with Premier Li Chang of the State Council and Zhao Leji, chairman of the National People's Congress, and far above other ministry-level officials. In this latest conference, Li Chang was absent due to his visit to Russia, but Ding Xuexiang still attended on behalf of the State Council to convey Xi Jinping's important instructions, even though Ding himself is not a member of the Commission on Governing the Country According to Law. In stark contrast, Cai Qi, a sitting vice director, was completely absent and no explanation was given, making his absence especially glaring. By this point, since accompanying Xi Jinping on a trip to Meizhou, Guangdong on November 8, Cai Qi has vanished from public view for 12 consecutive days and has yet to reappear. This is his longest absence since he entered the Politburo Standing Committee in 2022. Furthermore, since November 8, 2025, after accompanying Xi Jinping on that same visit to Meizhou, Guangdong, Cai Qi has been absent from public view for 12 consecutive days and still has not reappeared. This is the longest, and most unusual, period of absence since he entered the Politburo Standing Committee. Looking back, even during politically quieter periods, such as the time of the Beidei meetings from July to August 2024, Cai Qi once went as long as 10 days without appearing in public. But that was during a routine, collective invisibility period for the CCP's top leadership, something everyone had already grown used to. This time, however, we are neither in one of those routine disappearance windows, nor has there been any overseas travel arrangement or official explanation. Yet Cai has been continuously absent from the National Games opening ceremony, from 2 meetings with foreign heads of state, and from a governing the country according to law work conference he should have attended as a vice director. This silence and this blank space are thus particularly abnormal. The reason Kai Chi's disappearance has triggered such a high level of political alert is not only because his rank is so high and his powers so extensive, but because he is one of the most central cogs in Xi Jinping's third-term power machine. This is not merely an official's absence, it may be a sign that something inside the system itself has fractured. A Politburo Standing Committee member who rose by brandishing absolute loyalty, a Central Secretariat executive whose position inside the party hierarchy was considered almost unassailable, a director of the General Office who manages Xi Jinping's daily operations and top-level secrets. If even someone like this runs into trouble, then the tension and instability behind the CCP's power structure are self-evident. That raises the question, how did such a figure climb to where he is today? How did he transform from a local official once seen as open-minded and active on Weibo into Xi Jinping's toughest and most ruthless enforcer? From local aide to serving Xi Jinping. Kai Chi was born in 1955 in Yong'an, Fujian, with ancestral roots in Youxi County, into an ordinary cadre family. Unlike many top CCP officials with red second-generation backgrounds, Kai's starting point in his career was modest and his resources limited. In the 1970s, he went down to the countryside as a sent-down youth. In 1975, due to outstanding performance, he was recommended for university and entered the political education department at Fujian Normal University. He also joined the CCP that same year. In June 1978, he stayed on at the university thanks to nothing more than a regular class completion certificate, becoming secretary to the university party secretary and officially stepping into the party's political work system. As for the PhD in economics, claimed in his official resume, it is of the same value class as Xi Jinping's Doctor of Law degree from Tsinghua University. This experience may not sound glamorous, but it was highly practical in political terms. Kai began on the quintessential red path, political work, drafting documents, and office systems, a route that looks peripheral but in practice runs straight through the party's central nervous system. While at Fujian Normal University, he accumulated experience in intra-party coordination and document drafting as the secretary to the university party secretary and honed a keen sensitivity to the tone of his superiors and to shifts in the political wind. After 5 years of grassroots experience, Kai was recommended to the general office of the Fujian Provincial Party Committee in 1983. In 1987, he was promoted to division-level secretary, giving him real exposure to the provincial leadership corps. During this phase, he never held any especially prominent titles, but he had already built a reputation inside the system as reliable, obedient, and knowing his boundaries, a standard type of official the organization department could trust. A critical turning point came in the late 1990s. Xi Jinping had by then become deputy secretary of the Fujian Provincial Party Committee and party secretary of Fuzhou. During this period, Kai was one of several deputy directors of the Provincial Party Committee's General Office, in charge of coordinating high-level documents and providing administrative support, essentially a member of Xi's secretarial team. From that point on, Kai's fate became closely bound to Xi Jinping. But the place that truly shaped him into a core member of the Xi family faction was not Fujian, it was Zhejiang. There, starting as a prefectural-level official, he completed a true turning point in his career. From pragmatic official to Weibo celebrity, the high point years. If in Fujian Kai was a low-key aide to Xi Jinping, then in Zhejiang he became visible for the first time to national media and Chinese netizens. He was no longer just a technical bureaucrat within the system, but an official who actively engaged the public and built a populist image as a Weibo celebrity. In 2002, Xi Jinping was transferred to Zhejiang as deputy party secretary and acting governor. The following year he became party secretary and started building his own local team. Kai, still in Fujian at the time, was seen as one of Xi's old subordinates, steady, reliable, and with strong execution. In 2004, Xi personally transferred Kai from Fujian to Zhejiang to serve as party secretary of Taizhou City, kicking off a key transition in Kai's political career. Over the next several years, Kai's promotions accelerated notably. In 2007, he became mayor of Hangzhou, entering the vice-provincial level ranks. In 2010, he took yet another step up, becoming a member of the Zhejiang Provincial Party Committee Standing Committee and head of the organization department, making him one of the youngest provincial-level organization heads in the country. This position not only put him in charge of all provincial-level personnel appointments, but also allowed him to show a style distinct from most CCP officials of the time, embracing the internet, stressing openness, and proactively engaging with public opinion, becoming a rare Weibo official. His signature move was opening a Weibo account. In 2011, at a meeting of provincial organization department heads, Cai publicly announced that he had opened a personal Weibo account. This was unprecedented at the time. He didn't use his official title, he simply used the name Cai Chi to open a Tencent Weibo account. In his profile, he wrote, "Organization Department Head, learning to surf the internet, experiencing life." He updated frequently and interacted actively. He reposted messages from grassroots civil servants, commented on current affairs, shared photos, and talked about everyday life. In September 2011, the mother of a grassroots tax bureau employee posted on Weibo complaining that her son had a low alcohol tolerance yet was constantly forced to drink with leaders at banquets. The very next day Cai reposted the message and wrote, "Tell me which unit your son is in. From now on he doesn't have to drink." That single Weibo post blew up overnight. Many netizens felt, for the first time, that officials could actually talk like that. By March 2014, his Tencent Weibo followers had surpassed 10 million, making him one of the most influential government Weibo celebrities at his rank. He posted photos of himself reading, commented on his Apple phone, sent holiday greetings to netizens, and referred to himself as Uncle Cai, chatting on Weibo about small-town life, government services, and cadre work style. To many, he looked less like a rigid official and more like a chatty local uncle eager to communicate. More importantly, he used Weibo to break the party's traditional closed culture around personnel moves. In November 2013, before any newspaper reports came out, Cai took the initiative to announce on Weibo that he would soon be stepping down as head of the Zhejiang Organization Department. It was the first time in CCP history that a senior official used social media to announce a personal job change. The media hailed it as an ice-breaking act of transparency. On the surface, he championed government openness, official transparency, and stressed that cadres must get used to working in a glass house. Behind the scenes, he also promoted reforms in the provincial cadre transfer system, set up a feedback box on cadre selection, and encouraged public participation. He publicly shared his work email address and demanded that all organization department staff do the same to make it easier for grassroots officials and citizens to raise issues. These moves earned him a reputation as an open-minded official and set him apart from many local leaders at the time. His behavior in Taiwan further deepened this approachable and soft-spoken impression. In July 2012, as a Zhejiang Provincial Standing Committee member and head of the organization department, Cai visited Taiwan. He not only met with various political figures but also took the time to visit his uncle, whom he hadn't seen in 14 years. He proactively interacted with local people and participated in discussions. His tone was mild, his manner gentle, and many Taiwanese media outlets were surprised. This mainland official did not come across as aloof. One Taiwan outlet commented, "Cai speaks at a calm pace, talks naturally. He has the pragmatism of a local official but also a touch of a mild-mannered intellectual." At that moment, Cai's image was completely different from the man who would later call for seeing blood with the bayonet and white knives going in, red knives coming out during harsh crackdowns in Beijing. Looking back now, Cai during the Zhejiang period may not have been truly liberal at heart. Rather, given the era and his role, he simply understood that an open, modern image would score political points for the future. Those seemingly easygoing gestures were stepping stones towards his move to Beijing. When fate later moved him into the Central National Security Commission and then into the leadership of Beijing, under Xi Jinping's direct control, his character and style were completely transformed. That is when he truly began to function as a knife handle.